afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Nickel City Mafia Channel, where we talk all things Buffalo and then some. I'm Mike Thornton, and today I'm going to talk. I'm going to give a recap of our June, of all of June, and what we presented to the channel during this time. I do want to apologize real quick. I did mean to have the AFC Contender streaming session today. However, life threw me a curveball earlier in the week and knocked me out for a couple days, so I didn't get the opportunity to spend as much time as I really want to put into that content. So I'm looking forward to next Saturday, where that'll go off at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I'm hoping that I can get some of you to join me. It'd be super great for you guys to talk about, or actually comment on the top 8 teams that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about those top 8 teams that I believe are contenders in the AFC. I know the top 7 make the playoffs, but I'm going to give you an 8th pick that I think could maybe work its way in somehow, some way, and knock one of those other ones out. And then I'll give you my rankings from top to bottom of those 8. And you may agree with me, disagree with me, and that's where you participating in the channel would be super helpful. Again, you don't have to catch the stream live. It's available immediately after I'm done. And just know that everything here on Nickel City Mafia Channel is streamed live. We don't do any post-editing at all. So it's raw. Yes, we'll make mistakes. Yes, I'll say the wrong thing sometimes. Yes, we'll have technical issues. But that's what makes it fun. You know, for me, getting folks in the channel participating is what it's all about. I've really yet to be able to do that yet because, you know, this is still brand new for me and I'm still growing the channel. So if you're able to watch it, whether it's live or after, you know, hey, put some comments in the channel. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would like to see me talk about. I have lots lined up and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So real quick, I'm going to just do a quick recap. I know you're all busy on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, so let's get to it. So I started a month ago on May 29th. Now, I know it's not technically June, but it was a few days away, so give me a little break there. But that was my inaugural stream. And during my inaugural stream, I kind of took you on a tour of where I grew up. It was super cool. I used a tool called Google Street View. It allowed me to walk my old neighborhood. It allowed me to walk to school. And on that journey there, I kind of pivoted and showed people, you know, where I had some of my first, where I had my first kiss, where I had my first 2 beers. And it was just super fun to go on that journey, you know. And I joked about on my way to school, there was at least 5 bars that I passed, and I think one closed down. I'm pretty sure there was a 6th one on the way. There's a joke here in Buffalo that there's a bar at every corner, which was true in my neighborhood for the most part. So anyhow, that was super fun to kind of take you on a journey. And then I just, you know, that was just to kind of introduce me to you. I don't live in Buffalo right now. I'm currently in Southern California. But that doesn't mean, you know, I may have left Buffalo, but Buffalo has never left me. That's what I always say. I have family back there. I have 3 beautiful kids. Hey, kids. And I have family back there as well. So I still have ties there. I'm a blue forever, right? I love the Bills. I love the Sabres. I love all the sport teams out of Buffalo. And that'll never change. So that was the inaugural stream, just to kind of get you familiar with me and then talk about what the channel was going to be about. And that, again, was all things Buffalo and then some. So what do you mean, Mike? What's this then some? Well, the then some is during the week, and we started this a couple of weeks ago. We started broadcasting the Jags golf podcast every Tuesday going forward at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. I know that's a little late on the East Coast, but you can also watch it afterwards the next day. Super helpful. It's a podcast all about the golf, professional golf tournament that's coming up that week. And we also review the previous week. And it's all for mostly folks that love betting on golf or playing some DFS games like DraftKings or FanDuel. Super helpful. My friend Tony, he creates this model based on statistics about the course, the key stats from the course, the players' recent form, and their statistics as well. And then he creates this model which kind of helps narrow the pool and hopefully helps you pick those lineups, because in DraftKings you got to pick six players on a team. And if you're strictly into betting, he's been super successful over the past year with this model when it comes to bets. So check that out. Super fun. That's the then some. But every Saturday we stay on brand. We talk about Buffalo. So moving on, after my inaugural stream, I had a little fun. I got into the Bills 2021 draft picks, and I talked about the players, and I talked about whether or not I thought we made the right pick at the time. And then I used a 4-point grading scale, which I'm going to show you right now, which I call the jersey scale. You can't really see it that well, but if you watch that stream, again, it was back, I think it was the first week of June, I rated everyone based on the jersey scale, which is a custom 4-point scale that I created. And it basically is a little fun spin on how I think that pick was. I mean, so for instance, you'll see, if you can see that, it says pass, meaning, hey, I'm not going to spend my hard-earned cash. To me, I'm going to just say a jersey typically is around $100. And am I going to spend my hard-earned cash on that player's jersey right now? Pass doesn't mean they won't be great someday. It just means I'm not ready to drop $100. Put it on layaway. We should all know what layaway means. Growing up as kids, layaway was a big deal for many of us. But hey, I'm not sold yet, but I'm going to take basically just going to watch. I'm going to watch this player for a little bit, and I'm going to put that jersey, I'm going to reserve it, put it on layaway, and just see how that player does. I think there's potential there, but I'm not quite ready to drop that $100. The buy now, that means I'm all in. I think this player is going to have a huge impact on us, especially early on. I mean, I don't think it's going to take any time for this player to start having their name talked about amongst the Bills Mafia. You'll hear this player's name, huge impact early on in the season. And then the buy two frame one, which is at the top, you can barely read that. But that is, hey, I think this player is going to be a superstar, so buy 2 jerseys and frame one of them for the future when that person gets entered into the Hall of Fame. Anyhow, a cool, fun little 4-point scale, a fun twist on rating these draft picks. You know, we have ESPN, we have all these different sporting channels that have their own algorithms for ranking the picks. Well, screw all that. We're going with something simple. And you might be surprised at how I thought we did in the draft. Maybe you wouldn't be, but take a look at it and let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with how I said we did for each of those picks. So after that, we got back into something fun, and we got a little away from sports, and we started talking about the great food in Buffalo. I had a nice long session with my beautiful daughter who lives in Buffalo, Nicole. She joined me for, it was about a 45, 50-minute session, and we just talked back and forth about what are those great foods in Buffalo and where to go get them. And so that was super fun. I'm so glad she joined me, and I hope to have her join me again in a future session. And we provided links in that session for you to go look and get the places where you should go to try these foods out. Don't listen to outsiders at all. For instance, I'll give you one tip. You're going to hear the Anchor Bar. Hey, if you go to Buffalo, you got to go to the Anchor Bar. That's where the wings originated. While I don't disagree you should stop there, I'm just going to tell you they're not the best wings in Buffalo. You want the best wings? Take a look at those links I provided. I then followed up after that with a real short recap of that session, because I realized there's people that are in town now that are coming to town and they don't have time to listen to a 45, 50-minute session about where to go to get those great foods. So I recapped it, did it in about 10 minutes. It covers all the foods that we talked about in the longer session, and it still provides the same links. So check that out, especially if you're in Buffalo now visiting, or you're planning on coming to Buffalo to visit, or you're just passing through. I mean, June through August is the perfect time to visit Buffalo. I even say a little bit into September if you want to see those beautiful autumn leaves. So again, check those streams out. You'll get some useful information, and those are recommendations from people local in Buffalo. So don't miss out on that. I then came back after those 2 food sessions, and I talked about the great attractions, some of the best attractions in Buffalo. And there are a lot of beautiful places for you to go see. But Botanical Gardens, Delaware Park, just to name a few. I'm not going to go into all of them because I'd like you to watch the stream. But there are some very nice places for you to go visit, and while you're in Buffalo, and it'll occupy your time. Again, I don't know if you're going to be there a week, 2 weeks, if you're only there for a weekend. Again, these are things that if you're looking for something to do, that's going to lead you in the right direction. Again, this is also not just me. Again, I grew up in Buffalo. I have a background in Buffalo, but talking to my friends and family who are still back there, these are the hot spots for you to go. And I didn't go into detail when I was talking about the best attractions or even the best foods, but Buffalo has some great bar life. I mean, nightlife, I should say. So the bar scene is off the chart. If you are into going out and having a great time, just ask the folks, the local folks, maybe ask where you're staying at the hotel, and they will guide you in the right direction. I'm not kidding when I say there's a bar at every corner. You know, there literally is. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit. But again, there's some great nightlife, some great hot spots for you to go with your friends and just have a great time. So don't miss out on that as well. Again, ask the local folks there or ask where you're staying at the hotel, and you won't go wrong. You won't miss out. So after that, I wanted to, we introduced to the channel a what we call the Jags Golf Podcast. And Jags stands for Just Another Guy. My friend and I, Tony Altieri, I talked about it early on when we started here. We go live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Again, it's live. All of this is live. So cut us a little slack if we're making, if we say something wrong, if you see a technical glitch. It is what it is. We think it's the most fun. It's the most challenging. And it lets you interact when we have those live streams. And again, you can interact afterwards. You feel free to come in and add comments. We're checking the channel all the time. But that's a super, super fun session. Runs roughly anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Tony and I can get to talking quite a bit on these golf topics because we both love the sport of golf. We both love playing it. And of course, we both love daily fantasy sports. And again, Tony into his betting. His model's fantastic. And again, you won't want to miss this if you're into betting or playing DFS. Let's see, what else did I have this month? I mean, I did add a little bit of a follow-up to my inaugural stream, which was a little bit about the area, the neighborhood that I grew up in, which was called Little Hollywood in the Valley community. And there was bridges when I grew up that surrounded our neighborhood. Those bridges were torn down in 1986, and you can't find pictures anywhere of those bridges being torn down or what they looked like before they were torn down. So I was lucky and fortunate enough. I have an aunt who lives right there on Smith Street where those bridges were torn down. She actually sent me pictures through the mail, and I actually put a little 5-minute stream together to kind of share that with you guys. I mean, it's super cool for those of us who grew up there, who have had children. And our children are at an age where they did not grow up with the bridge there. So when you're trying to explain it to them, they just can't visualize it. But these pictures now definitely help that scenario. It's super cool. And again, very rare. You can't find these anywhere. So take a look. I promise you'll be happy you did. And again, it's like a 5-minute video. So won't take much of your time, and you'll have something to now show your kids, like, this is what I was talking about. This is the bridge that we had right next to us. So other than that, I think that was kind of everything we did. I'm looking over the channel list here. I think that was everything we did in June. I'm super proud of all the content we were able to provide. And again, because this is live, yes, I make mistakes. Yes, there's technical issues. Sometimes I'll do a redo on some of these streaming sessions. I want it as perfect as possible, but I realize that can't always be the case. So again, I hope you can comment. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. If you happen to want to click the like, that's great. If you want to subscribe, that's fantastic. But again, to me, what's more important are your comments, and so that I can make this a better channel for all of us. So what's upcoming? What are you going to be talking about in July? I'm super excited about July. Again, I talk about the AFC contenders. I was going to do that today. Again, as I told you, something hit me this week, and I had a few days where I just couldn't do anything. But I'm going to be back at it this week, working hard, getting some great content. That's probably going to be easily a 40 to 55-minute session, depending if I have folks in the channel chatting. It'll be maybe even go longer, but it should be super fun. Again, I'm going to talk about the top 8 teams in the AFC that I think are going to compete for those 7 playoff spots, and I'll rank those 8 teams from top to bottom. So super cool. Looking forward to getting your feedback on that. I'm also excited about the Sabres draft review that's coming up at the end of July. I'm going to get my dad helping me out here. My dad's a long time. He also was raised in Buffalo, big time Buffalo sports fan, loves the Sabres. He's been following them even more deeper than I have, and I'm going to get him on that stream, and we're going to review the draft. It's super exciting. We do have the number 1 pick overall. Let's see what we do with it. The team's in a little bit of disarray. Leading up to the draft, I might have another session where we just kind of talk about the current state of the Sabres and maybe what we should go after, and will there be any big moves made during or before the draft, because there's a lot of drama going on with the Sabres. So again, join me and my dad for that one at the end of the month. It's already scheduled. You'll see it out there on the channel. Now, my dad, SoCal Saber, if you get a chance, check out his channel. One of the reasons I started doing my own channel is my dad inspired me back last year when COVID hit. He had to self-quarantine. He was in danger. He's one of those folks that easily could have gotten it. So he had to pretty much shut the doors and not let anyone in the house for quite some time. So it could be very lonely. But he was smart about things and got his own little channel going so he can talk to the public. He talks about board games. And when I say board games, sports board games, war board games, pretty much any board game that's out there, he's doing unboxings and he's talking about how to play the game. He's gotten a lot of followers, and he's bringing board games back to the family. In today's society, we're all playing video games and we're apart from one another. This is bringing family back to the table and playing these games. And let me tell you, these board games, the graphics on them are amazing. They're challenging. You can get games kind of focused for, if you have younger kids, you can get those type of games. If you have older, and again, if you like sports, you like fantasy, you like war games, he talks about those. Again, you can find him. His name's SoCal Saber on YouTube. And again, we're going to be talking more golf every Tuesday. As I said, be there. We're going to talk golf. I would love to get your input. And again, it might help you in the pocketbook as well. And then sports and more sports. I haven't really even touched on the Bandits. I haven't touched on the Bisons. We're going to talk about those. And then we might even talk about the Toronto Blue Jays, who are playing all their home games in Buffalo at Salins Field. Salins Field is the home of the Bisons, who's the minor league team for the Toronto Blue Jays. But because of COVID restrictions right now in Canada, nobody can get in and out of Canada, so they pretty much had to move the Blue Jays home games to Salins Field and Buffalo. I know just 3 or 4 weeks ago, the New York Yankees were there, my favorite team. I'm super jealous about that. But how cool. The fans of Buffalo were there supporting it. Toronto isn't really a Buffalo team, but because they are the parent team to our Bisons, of course, we're going to share the love with them and give them all the support we can. And how long that will go on, I don't know. But if you're there in town and they're playing some home games, check it out. You'll have a great time. So again, lots of fun things planned for the future on this channel. We're going to keep growing it. The Jags Golf Podcast, which is part of the Nickel City Mafia network. Super happy to have that joined again during the week. And we'll add other things. And just, again, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. If I say anything wrong, correct me. If you just want to say hi, part of doing this channel is for me to reconnect with all the great folks that I grew up with in Buffalo and tell my stories as well as when we go through these streams. And just have fun and show my kids that anyone can do this. It's just... it's super fun. And again, another reason was my kids were watching so much YouTube content. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show them that dad can do this. So again, I'm Mike Thornton. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day today and checking out the channel. I will see you next week again. AFC contenders, be ready. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to ask some questions, and I want to hear your feedback. So Bills Mafia, be ready. And even if you're not Bills Mafia or you're a Bills fan, this is for anybody. I'm going to be rating 8 teams that I think could compete. And so this could be Miami, Patriots. I don't know who it's going to be yet. I'm not gonna let the secret out of the bag yet. But join us. It's a football conversation, and I would love anyone who loves football to participate. So until next week, thank you. Be safe, and have a great weekend. Bye now.